that puppy that always followed you around. Well, I'm gonna be as faithful as that puppy. No, I'll never let you down. 'Cause it goes on like a river flows, and it gets bigger, baby, and heaven knows, and it gets sweeter, baby, as it grows. And I love you, my oh my, yeah, river deep, mountain high, yeah, yeah. If I lost you, would I cry? Oh, I love you, baby, 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 baby. I love you, baby, like a flower loves the spring. And I love you, baby, like a robin loves to sing. And I love you, baby, like a schoolboy loves his bag. And I love you, baby, river deep, mountain high. She ain't got no money, her clothes are kind of funny, her hair is kind of wild and free. Oh, but love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. She talks kind of lazy, and people say she's crazy, and her life's a mystery. Oh, but love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. There's something about her head on her mind. It's a feeling that's fine, and I just gotta say, hey, she's really got a magical spell, and it's working so well that I can't get away. I'm a lucky fella, and I just gotta tell her that I love her endlessly. Because love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. There's something about her head on her mind. It's a feeling that's fine, and I just gotta say, hey, she's really got a magical spell, and it's working so well that I can't get away. I'm a lucky fella, and I just gotta tell her that I love her endlessly. Because love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. Keeps growing every place she's been, and nobody knows like me. the world. I'm turning inside out, yeah. I'm floating around in ecstasy. So don't stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, go, go. There's no stopping me. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. 'Cause I'm having a good time. Don't stop me now. Yes, I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all. Yeah. I'm a rocket ship on my way to Mars on a collision course. I am a satellite. I'm out of control. I'm a sex machine ready to reload. Like an atom bomb about to explode. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic woman of you. Don't stop me, don't stop me, don't stop me. Hey, hey, hey! Don't stop me, don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me, don't stop me. Supersonic man out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop me. Yes, I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
Check, 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 mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check for press, mic check for press, Myrtle Beach, February 21. Mic check, Thursday, February something. Mic check, press, 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 press. Fox News Nation, NBC, locals. Everybody good, solid, clean, 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 clean. Thumbs up, we like thumbs up. Alrighty, thank you.
Right from the starting line, no more connections.
Ladies and gentlemen, would Donald Frere, the owner of a Dodge Ram Rebel, please meet Nikki Haley's staff at the front of the courtyard? Donald Frere. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Georgetown Mayor Carol Jarrow.
Welcome, everyone. I am Georgetown's Mayor Carol Jarrow, and I am so glad to be with y'all here this evening. What a great crowd we have. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. It is my honor and privilege to introduce a remarkable leader whose dedication to public service and unwavering commitment to excellence have made her a true beacon of inspiration around the world. Born in Bamberg, South Carolina, Nikki Haley has exemplified the American dream through her remarkable journey and rise in prominence in politics to become the first female governor of South Carolina. I'm the first female mayor of Georgetown. Go, girls! There she garnered a widespread acclaim for her bold leadership, principled decision-making, and tireless advocacy for the people of her state. During her tenure, she implemented significant reforms, revitalized the state's economy, yes she did, and earned a reputation as a fearless champion of conservative values. Her exceptional leadership led her to an appointment at the United States Ambassador to the United Nations, where she became a leading voice for American interest on the global stage. She navigated complex international challenges, championed human rights, and promoted peace and stability in some of the world's most volatile regions. Today, as we face new challenges and opportunities, Nikki Haley continues to be a voice of reason, a champion of freedom, and a tireless advocate for the principles that unite us as a nation. So, my friends, it is with great pride and enthusiasm that I ask you to join me in welcoming a shining example of South Carolina's finest, the next President of the United States, Nikki Haley!
It's great to see everybody. What a great night it is in South Carolina. You know, in South Carolina, we grow our women strong. And I want to thank Mayor Jarrow. She has been with us. She was with us in Georgetown. She came here to be able to talk to you today. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you very much. And I want to thank Brown and Brenda Bethune. They have been so fantastic and supportive to us. I want to thank them for doing everything they have. You know, I look at this crowd and I think, how many of you were here when I was governor? Okay, so a lot of you. Well, I look at this crowd and I think about what we did together. You know, we did a lot of things together. When I came in as governor, those times were tough. We had 11% unemployment. We had thousands of people on welfare. And South Carolina was the butt of the jokes. And what did we do? We rallied. And we got together and we got to work. And by the time I left, we were building planes with Boeing. We were building more BMWs than any place in the world. We brought in Mercedes-Benz. We brought in Volvo. 5 international tire companies. They referred to us as the beast of the Southeast. We moved that 11% unemployment down to 4%. We put 35,000 people from welfare to work. We did pension reform. We did tort reform. We cut taxes on our small businesses. We built up our coffers. We paid down our debt, and we acknowledged some truths. We said, if you've got to show picture ID to buy Sudafed, You've got to show picture ID to get on a plane. You should have to show picture ID to protect the integrity of the election process. We did voter ID in South Carolina. We passed the toughest illegal immigration law in the country. President Obama sued us over it, and we won. We passed the first body camera bill in the country, and we held our elected officials to account. We made every elected official start to show us their vote on the record instead of hiding behind voice votes behind closed doors. We made them to start disclose their income so that you could see who was paying them. We vetoed $500 million of their pet projects because that's not how your money needed to be spent. And by the time I left, we were named the friendliest state in the country, the one I loved, the most patriotic state in the country. And don't blame me for this one, but we were named the number 2 state in the country people were moving to. And now you look at how our country is, and it's tough to watch this. We're $34 trillion in debt. We're having to borrow money just to make our interest payments. China owns some of that debt. For the first time, we're paying more in interest payments than we are in our defense budget. You know who notices that? Russia, China, and Iran. Something's got to give. And I would love to be able to tell you that Joe Biden did that to us. But I've always spoken to you in hard truths, and I'm going to do that with you tonight. Our Republicans did that to us too. You look, Donald Trump put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years. He claims that was COVID. That was less than 20% of what that was. And our Republicans, they passed that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill with no accountability that has now left us with 80 million Americans on Medicaid, 42 million Americans on food stamps. That's a third of our country. And did they try and make it right? Nope. They doubled down and opened up pet projects and earmarks for the first time in 10 years, passing 7,000 of them last year. That is not the way our money was meant to be spent. So how do we fix our economy? The first thing we need to do is claw back the $100 billion of unspent COVID dollars that are still sitting out there. Instead of 87,000 IRS agents going after middle America, let's go after the hundreds of billions of dollars of COVID fraud. 1 out of every $7 was spent fraudulently. If 8% of our budget is interest, quit borrowing. Cut up the credit cards. You have to balance a budget every day. I had to balance a budget as governor. Why is Congress the only group that refuses to balance a budget? We'll stop their spending, we'll stop their borrowing, we'll eliminate their pet projects, and I will veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. That will save us trillions. And then we're going to take as many federal programs as we can and send them down to the state level. That will dramatically reduce the size of the federal government, but it will empower people on the ground. Think education, think healthcare, think welfare, think mental health. If we cut those strings and send those resources down and people on the ground decide how they're spent, that's so much better than Washington bureaucrats spending that. We need an accountant in the White House. That's exactly right. You know, and then we want to go and open up the middle class. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. That's why we're going to cut taxes on the middle class and simplify the brackets. We're going to eliminate the federal gas and diesel tax in this country. And we're going to make small business tax cuts permanent. They made them temporary. We need to make them permanent. Small businesses are the heartbeat of our economy. It is time we start acting like it. And speaking of Congress and what they do, Congress has one job, and that's to make sure they give us a budget on time. Congress has only given us a budget on time 4 times in 40 years. 4 times in 40 years. You know what I say about that? When I'm president, you don't get us a budget on time, you don't get paid, period. Don't you think it's finally time we had term limits in Washington, D.C.? Don't you think we need to have mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75? Now, I want to be clear. I'm not being disrespectful when I say that. We all know people over 75 that can run circles around us. And then we know Joe Biden. Congress is now the most privileged nursing home in the country. It's true. And we can't play with this. These are people making decisions on our national security. These are people making decisions on the future of our economy. We need to know they're at the top of their game. And then let's talk about the border. I can't believe we would allow this in the United States of America. 9 million illegal immigrants have come to that border. We've had more fentanyl cross the border last year that would kill every single American. Number one cause of death for adults 18 to 45, fentanyl. And don't think for a second China doesn't know what they're doing when they send it over. We need to take what we did in South Carolina and go national with it. We'll do a national E-Verify program so every business has to prove that the people they hire are in this country legally. We will defund sanctuary cities once and for all. No more safe havens in America. We'll put 25,000 Border Patrol and ICE agents on the ground and let them do their job. We will go back to the Remain in Mexico policy so that no one steps foot on U.S. soil. And instead of catch and release, we'll go to catch and deport. That is how we will fix what's happening on the border. But let's talk about what happened last week. Last week, Congress had a border bill. And if you look at that border bill, the part that was good was that it strengthened asylum laws. We have to do that. 3 million illegal immigrants came across the border under the Trump administration because our asylum laws weren't strong enough. The weak part about that bill was it didn't have Remain in Mexico. We need to have that. And it had a 5,000 person threshold. We don't even need to have a 1 person threshold. But the problem with what happened is Congress needs to get in a room and figure it out and pass a strong border bill. But Trump came in and said, don't pass anything until after the general election. We can't wait one more day to secure our border. Period. We can't. Congress needs to get in a room, figure it out, get us a strong bill, and Trump needs to stay out of it. Too many American lives are at risk with that. And you know, when I was growing up in Bamberg, South Carolina, my parents always taught me, you take care of those who take care of you. I'm going to ask you if we're taking care of those who take care of us. Right now in America, over 35,000 of our veterans are homeless. 1 in 3 suffers from PTSD or thoughts of suicide. We lose 22 heroes a day to suicide. If a veteran needs a doctor's appointment, on average, takes 29 days. Why 29 days? Because on the 30th day, they can go to the doctor or hospital of their choice. So midway through the 29 days, they get a call to reschedule, and the clock starts all over again. It is shameful how we treat our veterans. Now, I'm the proud wife of a combat veteran who served in Afghanistan. And when Michael came home to us, that was a lot of prayers answered. But that was the easy part. When we got home, life got hard. Michael couldn't hear loud noises. He couldn't be in crowds. Life had passed him by for the year that he was gone, and the transition was tough. We can't just love our men and women when they're gone. We got to love them when they come back home, too. You know, he may not be the only one tonight, but I'll tell you, don't get upset when you see protesters like that, because my husband and a lot of men and women in the military sacrifice every day for his right to be able to do that. So getting back to talking about our veterans, we need to make sure that we don't just take care of them for the 2-week transition. Let's take care of them for the long haul. We need telehealth so they can get the mental health care they need right when they need it. They should be able to go to the doctor or hospital of their choice. They've earned that right. And I think the best way we deal with VA health care, I think every member of Congress should have to get their health care from the VA, and you watch how fast that gets fixed. It'll be the best health care you've ever seen, guaranteed. And speaking of military, let's talk about our national security. The world is on fire, literally. We've got a war in Europe. We've got a war in the Middle East. You've got North Korea testing intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of hitting the U.S. You've got China doing cyber attacks on our infrastructure. You've got Russia putting up blinding satellites where we can't see if a missile's coming in, and they can take out our infrastructure in a second. None of that would have happened had we not had that debacle in Afghanistan. The idea that Michael and his military brothers and sisters who served there had to watch us leave Bagram Air Force Base in the middle of the night without telling our allies who stood shoulder to shoulder with us for decades because we asked them to be there. Think about what that said to our friends. More importantly, think about what that said to our enemies. This is the time we have to have a leader who has moral clarity, that knows the difference between good and bad and knows the difference between right and wrong. We need a leader whose total focus is to prevent war. It's always got to be about preventing war. And I see what Donald Trump said in Conway over a week ago. Think about this. He said that he would encourage Putin to invade our allies. Now think about this. Trump is siding with a thug where 500,000 people have died and been wounded because Putin invaded Ukraine. Trump is siding with a dictator who kills his political opponents. Trump is siding with a tyrant who arrests political journalists and holds them hostage. Trump is siding with Putin, who's made no bones about wanting to destroy America. And Trump is choosing to side with him over the allies that stood with us after 9/11? In the 1 sec, he does this when he goes off the teleprompter. It's a problem because in that second when he did that, he made all of our allies more vulnerable. He emboldened Putin, and Putin's now putting troops along those Baltic states. And he put every one of our men and women in the military that are serving there at risk. Words matter. And speaking of words, that same night, he mocked my husband's military service. Now, I'll say this. Michael and I can handle it. When you're in politics, it's open season. That's fine. But you mock one member of the military, you're mocking every member of the military. And we've overlooked things he said before, but this is now a pattern. I mean, he went and he said that military men and women who lost their lives in service were suckers and losers. He was at Arlington National Cemetery and said, what was in it for them? He's never been near a uniform. You think about it. He's never put on a uniform. We all know veterans. We all know people who've served. We all know people who've lost their lives to service. They don't do this for kicks and giggles. They do this because they know freedom's not free. They do this because it's bigger than about themselves. And so when he does that, it's because he doesn't understand military service. And if he's never been near a uniform, and he's never understood what that kind of sacrifice means, that says a lot more about him than any member of the military. So we know what we need to do with our national security. We know what we need to do with our domestic policy. But now we have to figure out what we want to do on Saturday. You know, I was looking at the TV the other day, and I saw a commercial that Trump was running against me, which is interesting because he says he's not worried, but he's running commercials. And in that commercial, I was looking, and everything he said was a lie. He said, I wanted to open borders. He said, I wanted to raise taxes. Then he sent out a text message apparently yesterday telling everybody I wanted to cut Social Security. None of that is true, and he knows it. But you know, I thought, well, if he's going to lie about me, I'm going to tell the truth about him. Because he needs to answer why he proposed a 25-cent per gallon gas tax increase. He needs to answer why he now wants to raise taxes on every American family by 10%. He wants to put tariffs on everything from baby strollers to appliances. It will be $2,800 more per year on all of us. He needs to explain why he's not going to do anything with Social Security, so when he leaves, we all get a 24% cut in our benefits. Those are the things he needs the answer to, but he won't because he won't debate me. So, but this is the time where we need to decide, do we want more of the same or do we want something different? More of the same isn't just Joe Biden. More of the same is Donald Trump. And we need to listen to what Americans are also saying. 70% of Americans have said they don't want a Trump-Biden rematch. The majority of Americans disapprove of Donald Trump. The majority of Americans disapprove of Joe Biden. They are the two least liked politicians in America. And 60% of Americans have said they think Donald Trump's too old and they think Joe Biden's too old to be president. And can't we do better than two 80-year-old candidates running for president? We need someone who can put in 8 years of hard work, day and night, do whatever it takes to get the job done. No drama, no vendettas, but real results for the American people. And I know you're all here because you want to see America turn in a different direction. You want to see America normal, right? But this is what I'll tell you. The only way we can do that is if we win a general election. And the problem is, Donald Trump can't win a general election. Look at any of the polls. He's down by 5. He's down by 7. On his best day, there was a Marquette poll that came out today. He's margin of error with Joe Biden. I'm in every one of those same polls. That Marquette poll has me beating Joe Biden by 18 points. 18 points. That's bigger than the presidency. That's House, that's Senate, that's governorships, that's school boards. But you win by double digits. That's a mandate going into D.C. to stop the wasteful spending and get our economy back on track. That's a mandate to get our kids reading again and go back to the basics in education. That's a mandate to secure our borders with no more excuses. That's a mandate for law and order in our cities. And that's a mandate for a strong America that prevents wars that we can all be proud of. Don't you want that? Because we could have that. But in order to have that, it's going to take a lot of courage. Courage from everybody here. Courage for me to run. And courage for every one of you to know, don't complain about what happens in a general election if you don't play in this primary. It matters. It matters. 7 months ago, I dropped my husband Michael off at 4 a.m. for another year-long deployment. And I watched him and 230 soldiers pick up their 2 duffel bags of belongings to go to a country they'd never been, all in the name of protecting America. They're willing to sacrifice their lives and their families because they still believe in this amazing experiment that is America. So if they're willing to sacrifice for us there, shouldn't we be willing to fight for America here? Because we have a country to save. But we also have to think about, who are we doing this for? We're doing this for our kids, for your grandkids. Think about what they've been through. They've been through COVID. They see this debt and they don't know what it means for them and their lives. They don't know if they're going to be able to buy a home. They don't know if they're going to get a job. They don't know how they're going to make ends meet. They're fearful of a war. They don't deserve what's happening right now. And right now, what do they hear? Anger, chaos, hatred of one another. And then we wonder why there's so much stress, anxiety, and depression. We've got to do this for them. Under Joe Biden, it's not normal to go and have schools focus more on gender pronouns than they are on reading and math. It's not normal to have illegal immigrants come across a border and no one stopped them. It's not normal to have these wars all over the world. But then you look at Donald Trump. It's not normal to pay $50 million in campaign contributions towards your personal court cases. It's not normal to mock the military. It's not normal to go and choose the side of a tyrant over our allies. It's not normal to have any of this happen. That's the problem. Both of these men give us chaos. And I look at this election. It's been a year since I announced I was running. We had 14 candidates in the race. I defeated a dozen of them. I just got one more I got to catch up to. They said we wouldn't make it to Iowa, and we came within 1% of second place. Then they said on the day of New Hampshire we were down 30 points in the polls. We got 43% of the vote. But if you see what happened the night of New Hampshire, I don't know if y'all watched it. Donald Trump had a temper tantrum on stage. He was completely unhinged. All he did was talk about revenge and my dress. The next day, he said anybody that supports her is barred permanently from MAGA. Now, think about that for a second. If you're running for president, you're trying to bring people in. You're trying to get more supporters, not push people out of your club. And then the next day, he tries to get the RNC to name him the presumptive nominee after 2 states. We don't anoint kings in America. We have elections. South Carolinians deserve the right to vote, just like every other state. But the part that bothered me was whether it was, and then he lost a couple of court cases, and he was talking about being a victim. But the part that bothers me, whether it was the night of New Hampshire, or whether it's him talking about being a victim, at no point has he ever talked about the American people. He's not talking about the fact that we're $34 trillion in debt. He's not talking about that only 31% of 8th graders in our country are proficient in reading. He's not talking about all of the influx happening on the border. He's not talking about the lawlessness in our cities. He's not talking about wars around the world. All he's doing is talking about himself. And that's the problem, is it's not about him. It's about the American people. You know, when I started, I talked about all of the success stories we had together. Now I'm going to remind you of the challenges that we had. We had a lot while I was governor. We had multiple hurricanes. We had a 1,000-year flood. We had a school shooting. We had the shooting of Walter Scott. And we had the shooting of 9 amazing souls at Mother Emanuel Church. It was a lot. Any one of those could have brought us to our knees. And after the shooting at the church, when the national media wanted to define everything about who we were, and it was on the heels of Ferguson, and cities were burning when we turned on the TV. Why didn't that happen to us? We didn't have riots. We had vigils. We didn't have protest. We had prayer. The tone at the top matters. We removed a divisive symbol not by saying who was good and who was bad or judging people. A leader shouldn't do that. A leader's supposed to bring out the best in people so that we can go forward. And through all of those situations, we continued to show the country what strength and grace looks like. We did that. Now we have the chance to do that again. We gotta get everybody to the polls. Everybody. You all know people, whether you realize it or not, that are just general election voters. I want you to remind them something. In a general election, you're given a choice. In a primary, you make your choice. We have a chance to make our choice. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to get everybody you know to go vote on Saturday. I need you to take a yard sign, and if you can't put a yard sign in your yard, put it at the back of your car. And I need you to make sure that you let your voices be heard. Tell your friends, tell your family, email everybody, text them, all of that. This is the time South Carolina can really step up and show the direction that we want our country to go in. I believe in you. I've always trusted you. I've always known that South Carolina truly is the best state in the country. You know, when I announced, they asked me why I was running. And I said, my parents came here 50 years ago to an America that was strong and proud and full of opportunities. I want them to know that country again. I'm doing this for Michael and his military brothers and sisters because they need to know their sacrifice matters. They need to know that we love our country. I'm doing this for my daughter who just got married, and I saw how hard it was for her and her husband to buy a home. The average home buyer in America now is 49 years old. The American dream is leaving them. And I'm doing this for my son, who's a senior in college. And I am tired of watching him write papers of things he doesn't believe in just to get an A. That's not us. That's not America. And for the first time, 81% of Americans don't think their kids are going to live as good of a life as we did. We can't be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. We do have a country to save. But I'll promise you this, just like I did when you elected me governor twice, if you will join with me in this movement, if you will join with me in this fight, I will spend every single day proving to you that you made a good decision. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Don't you think it's time?